How can I change a toxic culture when I am not in a position of authority? That is a really good question, and one I get asked often. Now, remember that leadership's an influence relationship, so you can always influence with your attitude, your effort, your cooperation, with your mindset. You can go in and elevate the energy in a toxic culture. You can. However, if you're going to change a toxic culture, you must have position power or be influencing someone of position power, because they are the only ones who can change the systems of the business. Systems run businesses, people run systems. And if you have a toxic culture, often it's a systematic problem. It's a systemic problem. It's a problem of thought, it's a problem of behavior, and a problem of communication. And so those systems must be changed and reorganized and redirected if you're going to have better outcomes and therefore eliminate a toxic culture. Unfortunately, if the leaders of your organization are not humble, hungry, smart, they're not willing to listen to you, or they gaslight you when you confront them about the toxic culture, it's not going to change. And I would tell you then to accept that, accept the fact that it's not going to change. Don't be delusional, and certainly do not blame, complain, deflect, or make excuses about it, because that only makes you powerless. What I would tell you to do then is I would begin to start looking for a better place to work, preferably in the same industry. There are plenty of organizations, if you're a really good person who's willing to confront toxicity, there are plenty of people out there, healthy cultures, who would love someone like you, who has the boldness and the courage to confront. But remember, in a free market system, the two bookend tenets of a free market system are free agency and personal responsibility. And if you are in a toxic culture that you accept is not going to change, then you have the personal responsibility to explore free agency. And if you aren't willing to do that, then you must accept the toxic culture you're in and make the best of it. You can't give in to blame, complain, deflecting, and excuses and expect to have a better environment. You will have a worse environment. But also understand that when you're in a toxic culture, it is very, very difficult not to be taken by the toxicity. If you are in a building that's full of toxins and poisons and you breathe that in all the time, it doesn't matter how positive your attitude is and how motivated you are going to be affected by the poison. So my charge to you is, if you're in a toxic culture and you've confronted and you have tried to influence with your mindset, your energy, your attitude, you tried to cooperate, you're pushing as hard as you can to be the best that you can be, and you realize that it's not going to change, then my charge to you is look for a better place, or go start your own business and create the culture that you want, that is going to bring you joy, that is going to perpetuate goodness and opportunity and kindness and better careers for others. And if you do that, if you have the courage to do that, you open up a lot of opportunity for yourself and others. So I'd encourage you to do that. But if you're a part of a toxic culture, just understand it's very difficult to change unless you are in a position of authority. All right, my friends, lead on.